For this you will need 1 cup of shredded paper, tightly packed, a gap filler. This is an Australian brand. It is called No More Gaps. It's actually crack resistant and a little flexible. Best way to make this if you're not in Australia is to mix acrylic painter's caulking with a Bondcrete. That way it makes it a little flexible and stops cracking. So PVA wood glue. It's a white wood glue. I'm not too sure what the equivalent would be overseas. And corn flour or corn starch. So you'll need a cup of wood glue, 1.5 cups of corn flour, 3 squirts of the gap filler, and 1 cup of tightly packed shredded paper. And this is actually copy paper that I got from a local school office for free, so just check local businesses and see where they throw out their paper. And here we go. Alrighty, so firstly you want to grab 1 cup of shredded copy paper, tightly packed. I've poured it into a bucket here on some scales to show you how much I ended up with, which worked out to be 43 grams in total. This is only a small amount of clay, by the way. I'm doing it this way because I didn't actually have many of the ingredients. Now, add boiling water to double the height of the paper so that the paper is just floating around loose. Then blend gradually with a hand mixer on high. I did this for only probably 2-3 minutes tops. Once you get rid of all the paper fibre, like the big chunks of paper, you can see that it's mainly all broken down. Then pour it through a cloth of some type that the water will strain through quite well, and then squeeze out as much of that water as possible. Because you've used boiling water, it can get quite hot and hard to do by hand. You can leave it to cool. Normally I'll just sort of squeeze a little bit out, run it under the cold water, and then continue to squeeze the water out. So once you get it to this point where it's just crumbles down in your hands and there's not much water, like you can't really see the water, break it down as much as you can. Sometimes I'll put it into a food mixer, an old food mixer, and that will break it down a little bit more. And next you want to add 1 cup of corn flour or corn starch, whichever is the finer in where you are. Approximately 1 cup of PVA glue, white wood glue, 3 of the squirts of the gap filler, and then mix it all by hand as much as you can. You will find this is very tacky and quite messy, but I mean, if you like that sort of thing, it can be fun. Now add another 1/2 cup of the corn flour. Continue to mix this. You will see that it has dried out a lot and is very crumbly. You'll think, oh, I've added way too much flour. But no, you just want to keep kneading this as much as possible. Add a little bit of glue as you go along, approximately about a teaspoon or tablespoon of glue at a time, and then just knead that through to the point where it's not tacky, but it still is dry, but everything sticks together. So as you're rolling it around, you'll notice if I can pick up all the pieces that are laying around underneath it and they all stick onto that one clump, that is about the stage that I want to get to. So you can see here now, it's all together. It's not falling apart. So next, wash your hands thoroughly. Have wet hands so they're quite damp, and now do exactly the same thing again. You will find that the water will start to soften it up. Just repeat this process as you need. Sprinkle a few drops on like I do, and then just knead that through. You'll find that the water works better than the glue. So you can add glue to soften it up a little bit more, but you will find as it gets sort of more moisture in it, as you're kneading it, the glue will just make it really sticky and you'll get quite messy on your hands. This way, using water, I find that it helps break it down, makes it nice and smooth, but it doesn't quite stick to your hands afterwards, which is a lot better, I find. So, and the more you smear it out on the bench or on something, or the more you break it down, the better. So, and as you can see, it's not sticking to my hands. And it's actually come out quite smooth. But you will still see fibres in there. You'll still see a little bit of roughness to it. But just the more you play with it, the more you knead it, the better it will become. And there are a few tricks to sculpting to get rid of it. So that's my recipe for paper clay. Hopefully you'll find it useful. It is very strong, very durable. When I made one of these, I actually hit it with a hammer quite a few times to test the strength, and it is very strong. I've also had it stick to glass and quite a lot of different things. You need a hacksaw to file through it. You can sand it, you can file it. The only thing is it's not waterproof, but other than that, it is a fantastic product and very, very cheap to make compared to a lot of regular clays out there that you buy. And I find most air dry clays like this tend to break and be very brittle. Like this little guy just here is made out of air dry clay, and it's extremely heavy and easy to break. But these, I could probably throw one across the room and not even damage it. So anyway, I hope you find that useful, and please subscribe to my page if you like. I will be doing more tutorials as I go along. And if you don't already, I have a Facebook page with all my artwork where I make all things like this, which is Gary Fay Creations on Facebook. So please check that out, and I'm glad this is helpful if it is. And thanks for watching.